Hi everyone, Katherine here from Coconut Luxe Melbourne, coming with you today with another video, and we're going to make my very popular Australian pink clay. It's definitely a winner in our range, so stay tuned. First thing we're going to do is melt down our oils. Now I'm making a huge 8 kilo batch, and I've got my coconut oil and my shea butter melting. Next, I'm going to mix the Australian pink clay in with some olive oil to make sure that the granules are dispersed well before adding it to the batter. This part is crucial. Now, I've already added it to the oils here. Sorry, I didn't take footage of that. I've already added it to the batter. So I've already pre-mixed the oils and the lye solution here. At this point, I'm not over stirring with a stick blender. I'm just using my whisk because I will be pouring the soap into the molds into 4 separate parts, so I don't want the batter to thicken up and seize on me. When using rose and geranium, which is what I've used to scent this bar, you need to work really quickly once you've added the essential oils. So the first thing we'll do is the first mold. So I'm just pouring it into one jug at a time. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of essential oils to the batter, a little bit at a time. You just eyeball it into 4 separate parts if you're doing 4 molds. So just slowly whisking it. I don't want to overwork it because it will thicken up. So I do need to work in a timely manner to get the batter into the mold. And you'll see that as soon as I pour it, how quickly it actually thickens up. This is the perfect consistency. You want the soap to be pourable into the mold. And that is exactly how I wanted it to be at this stage. The batter will thicken up a little bit towards the end when I'm adding height to the soap, but it's okay at that point. Okay, and now I'm going for the second jug, second mold, so a little bit of batter and a little bit of essential oils, and I'll do the same thing until I get it all into the 4 molds. So I am working on 4 molds, and that will give me approximately 48 to 50 bars, 110 grams each, and I'm just using the Kmart bamboo logs at this point. I've got about 20 of them, and they've worked really well for me. Yes, eventually I will need to invest in soap molds, but it's worked really well because I'm getting the perfect size bar. Okay, so we're just repeating the process until we get it all into the molds. We're almost there. Look at that beautiful pink. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now I have added a little bit of mica, otherwise the Australian pink clay will give you more of a dusty pink, and I did want to add a little bit more character to this soap. Wow, you guys, I'm really happy with the way I managed to get the first pour in. Now the batter's hardened up a little bit, which is what I wanted it to do, because I want to be able to add a peak to the tops of the soap. So this is again a perfect stage 2 of the consistency. So I want it a little bit thicker because I want to be able to add the peaks, and I want it to dry a little bit before I add the botanicals. Now I've noticed with trial and error that if your soap is too wet when you're adding your botanicals, it turns the botanicals brown. So if you wait for your soap to harden a little bit after you've done your peaks, so I do use a water discount of 1.2 to 1 when I am making soap. It eliminates a lot of the water content. It also allows my soaps to cure much quicker. But I noticed when working with botanicals, it avoids them going brown. So this has worked really well, and you might want to try it. I will leave some information in the description for you below. I'm just working the batter down at this point. These are not the peaks. I'm just working the batter because it is hardening up really quickly. So I'm just trying to get it to an even consistency across the molds before I add the shape and the botanicals. What a relief. I've managed to get all the batter into the molds beautifully without it going hard. So now I've got 4 full molds, and I'm going to top up the molds to give them height. So you can see here the batter's quite hard, so I'm just going over each mold and topping it up so I can make some peaks. And then I'll be able to add some botanicals on the side of each mold. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up next. Now it's time to add the botanicals. So I'm adding the rose petals, and the batter is where I need it to be. So it's nice and thick. So it's holding the botanicals beautifully. It's not wet. It's not a wet batter, which means the botanicals will now not turn brown. So stay tuned to see the final product.